At the heart of a vast and imposing empire, where ancient traditions shaped every aspect of life, reigned the divine emperor. His figure, shrouded in an aura of power and sanctity, was revered by his subjects, and his decrees echoed throughout the land like the voice of the heavens. The imperial lineage, immaculate and untouchable, was carefully preserved through arranged marriages with the noblest families of the kingdom, ensuring the purity of blood and the stability of the throne. The imperial court, a labyrinth of intrigue and protocol, teemed with the presence of dukes, counts, and barons, each aware of their place in the rigid social hierarchy. The future of the empire rested on the emperor's shoulders, and the choice of his consort was a matter of state, fraught with political and dynastic implications. The expectation of a new imperial marriage hung in the air, fueling speculation and secret alliances between the most powerful families, each yearning for the honor of uniting their ties with the royal house. In a remote corner of the empire, far from the sumptuous palaces and corridors of power, there was a small village nestled among verdant hills and flowery fields. There lived Arara, a young woman of simple beauty and pure heart. Her life was marked by the simplicity of hard work and the serenity of the nature that surrounded her. She knew nothing of the luxuries of the court and the machinations of the nobility, finding joy in the little things: the singing of the birds, the scent of the flowers, the company of her humble neighbors. Her family, of modest origins, dedicated themselves to cultivating the land, and Arara shared their labors, her delicate hands accustomed to manual labor. Her kindness was known throughout the village, always ready to help those in need and comfort the afflicted. Never in his wildest dreams could he have imagined that destiny would reserve him such an extraordinary and shocking role. Tired of the formalities of the court and eager to glimpse life beyond the palace walls, the divine emperor decided to travel incognito throughout his kingdom. Disguised as a commoner, he ventured along the dusty roads, observing the lives of his subjects up close. On one of his journeys, his paths crossed with Arara's. He found her on the side of the road, caring for an injured animal with a tenderness that touched his heart deeply. The purity in her eyes and the gentleness in her gestures contrasted sharply with the artificiality and ambition he witnessed daily at court. Intrigued, the emperor approached and began a conversation with the young woman. Arara, without recognizing his true identity, spoke to him openly, sharing her concerns and dreams with disarming honesty. In the days that followed, the emperor returned to the village, seeking Arara's company. Under the guise of an ordinary traveler, he spent time with her, learning about her life, her values, and her deep connection to the land and its people. They shared simple meals, heartfelt conversations, and moments of silent understanding under the vast, starry sky. The emperor felt refreshed by her presence, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Arara's authenticity and her lack of interest in his position or wealth charmed him. For the first time in many years, he felt seen not as the divine emperor, but as an ordinary man, worthy of genuine affection. Slowly, a deep and unexpected feeling began to blossom in his heart. The day came when the emperor realized that his feelings for Arara went beyond simple admiration. He was in love. He knew his decision would be shocking and unprecedented, but he could not imagine his future without her by his side. With his heart pounding, he decided to reveal his true identity. To Arara, he took her to a secluded spot where the beauty of nature reflected the depth of his feelings. There, with sincere and emotional words, he confessed his love and revealed himself to be the divine emperor. Arara was astonished. The simple, gentle man for whom she felt a growing affection was, in fact, the ruler of the entire empire, an almost divine figure. The magnitude of the revelation left her speechless, her simple, safe world shaken to its foundations. Kneeling before Arara in his beloved garden, the divine emperor asked for her hand in marriage. His regal bearing was softened by the tenderness in his gaze, and the powerful aura surrounding him seemed to dissipate at the sincerity of his proposal. Arara, though overwhelmed by the magnitude of the decision, saw the genuineness of love in the emperor's eyes. She remembered their times together, his kindness, and the deep connection they shared. With her voice choked with emotion, she accepted his proposal. News of the divine emperor's impending marriage to a commoner spread like wildfire through the imperial court, plunging it into a state of shock and disbelief. The nobles, accustomed to arranged marriages and strategic alliances, could not conceive of such a radically unequal union. In the sumptuous corridors of the palace, whispers turned to indignant murmurs. The courtiers met in secret, making bitter comments and expressing their displeasure with the emperor's decision. They considered it an affront to tradition, a disrespect to the imperial lineage, and a threat to the stability of the empire. The idea of a commoner ascending to the throne as empress was considered an unprecedented scandal, capable of tarnishing the divine image of the emperor and weakening his power. The Dowager Empress, an austere and influential figure, reacted furiously to the news. To her, the marriage was an affront to her position and an insult to the memory of her late husband. Determined to prevent this union, she began to scheme behind the scenes, seeking allies among the disgruntled nobility. Arara arrived at the palace, a vast and opulent world that contrasted sharply with the simplicity of her village. Dressed in elegant but modest clothes, she felt intimidated by the grandeur of the surroundings and the curious and suspicious looks of the nobles gathered there. Court etiquette, with its complex rituals and inflexible rules, was a constant challenge for her. Every gesture and word was carefully analyzed and judged. However, the emperor's constant presence and unconditional support gave her the strength to face the situation. He patiently guided her through the labyrinths of royal protocol, teaching her the customs of the court and protecting her from the most hostile looks. Despite the difficulties, Arara maintained her kindness and humility, qualities that gradually began to captivate some of the more benevolent courtiers. As Arara struggled to adapt to life at court, factions of the nobility, led by traditional families and influenced by the Dowager Empress, began to secretly conspire against the emperor and her marriage. They feared that the union with a commoner would weaken the imperial lineage and set dangerous precedents for the established social order. Clandestine meetings were held in hidden rooms, where plans were hatched to undermine the emperor's authority and prevent Arara's coronation as empress. Tensions at court grew with each passing day, and the air grew thick with the anticipation of impending conflict. Despite the constant pressure and the veiled contempt of many at court, Arara displayed a surprising inner strength. Her kindness and compassion were genuine and undeniable, and little by little they began to win hearts and minds. She took the time to get to know the palace servants, listening to their stories and helping them with their needs. She transformed a forgotten corner of the imperial gardens into a flower-filled haven, reminding everyone of the beauty and simplicity of life that she so valued. Her gentle presence and integrity contrasted sharply with the ambition and coldness of many nobles, and some began to question their own prejudices. The wedding day arrived. The ceremony, held in the great imperial temple, was a spectacle of pomp and tradition, but also fraught with palpable tension. The divine emperor and Arara exchanged solemn vows before a divided court. Their gazes, filled with love and determination, were a testament to the strength of their union. After the ceremony, amid the imperial gardens bathed in the light of the setting sun, the emperor and empress shared a moment of intimacy. Their love was a beacon of hope amidst the political turmoil, a promise of a different future for the empire. Shortly after the wedding, the emperor's loyal guards discovered concrete evidence of the conspiracy being hatched against him and the empress. Secret documents revealed the involvement of influential nobles and even the involvement of the Dowager Empress in the plans to depose the emperor and annul his marriage. The betrayal, coming from those so close to power, shook the emperor's confidence, but strengthened his resolve to protect Arara and the future of his kingdom. The emperor summoned the chief conspirators to the throne room. The tension was palpable as he confronted the nobles, presenting them with evidence of their treason. Their faces, once haughty, now showed fear and despair in the face of the emperor's fury. The Dowager Empress was also called to account. Before her son and the assembled court, she maintained a defiant stance, refusing to admit her guilt and defending her actions as being for the good of the empire. The emperor, with a heavy heart, was forced to take drastic measures to protect his wife and ensure the stability of the kingdom. In a gesture of firmness and love, the emperor and the empress appeared together before the court. Holding hands, they conveyed a message of unity and resolve. The emperor reaffirmed his choice, declaring his love for Arara and his confidence in her ability to be a great empress. Arara's strong and serene presence at his side, her dignity and her courage, impressed many in attendance. Gradually, skepticism began to fade, giving way to a growing admiration for the new empress. Over time, Arara's genuine kindness and wisdom earned her the respect and affection of the people and much of the nobility. Her humility and dedication to the welfare of those most in need contrasted with the arrogance of some of her former courtiers. She became a champion of the poor and oppressed, using her position to promote social justice and equality. Her love for the emperor was evident and inspiring, strengthening his reign and ushering in a new era of peace and prosperity for the empire. The rigid social barriers began to become less insurmountable, and the idea that a person's worth lay not in their background but in their character began to flourish. Years later, the divine emperor and empress Arara ruled together. Their love, a living legend. Their marriage, which had once shocked the empire, had become a symbol of hope and transformation. The union of a powerful ruler and a pure-hearted commoner demonstrated that true love can transcend social barriers and shape the destiny of a nation. The empire prospered under their joint rule, marked by justice, compassion, and a growing unity between the different strata of society. The story of the divine emperor and his amazing wife echoed through the centuries, inspiring generations, and proving that love, in its purest form, has the power to break down prejudices and build a more just and egalitarian world.